From the press, good morning. Welcome to the press conference for the second session of the 13th MPC. Today's topic is the fresh and improved macroeconomic regulation enables a further high-quality economic development. We're honored to invite Chairman He Lifeng from National Development and Reform Commission, along with Vice Chairman Ning Jizhe and Lian Weiliang, to answer your questions. I would like to invite Mr. He Lifeng to give a brief opening remarks. On behalf of NDRC, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our friends from the media for your long-term attention, support, help to our work. And now the question ready. We are ready to answer your question.
好，谢谢。下面开始提问。好，东区第二排的那位这位女士。
我是新华社记者。我们注意到呢，2018年中国 GDP 同比增长6.6%，今年的政府工作报告提出了6%到6.5%的增速目标。那么这是否意味着和去年相比，今年的经济下行压力更大？那么应该如何预判今年的经济走势呢？谢谢。
I'm with Xinhua News Agency. China's GDP grew by 6.6% in 2018. This year's growth target is set at 6 to 6.5%, according to the government work report. Does this indicate increased downward pressure on the economy? What's this year's economic outlook for China? Thank you.
Thank you. At the end of last year's Central Economic Work Conference, General Secretary Xi Jinping made a very thorough analysis of China's economic development and also gave us the very concrete guidelines to our work this year. Yesterday, Premier Li Keqiang also reviewed our work in the economic field and also elaborate the environment we're facing and also listed 10 measures we need to be done this year. So we need to pursue progress while ensuring stability, but we're also facing a lot of changes and some concerns. But overall, the trend is encouraging. I would like to mention number one, the economic indicator is actually quite stable. From Q1 to Q4, our economic indicators always operate within a proper range. We reached 90 trillion GDP, equivalent to $13.6 trillion US. The growth rate reached 6.6%, equaling to $1.4 trillion US. So talk about the number and the scale put into a global landscape. We actually enjoy the largest volume of growth and also the fastest growth speed among the top 5 economies. Although we are facing a downturn pressure and also a sluggish economic recovery around the world, this is really a hard job we achieved last year by China. Another we look at is a very stable employment. 13.6 million jobs created, and also we talk about the increase at $1.4 trillion US growth. 13.6 million people got the job, and 13.86 million people out of poverty. All these three numbers, only China can make it. And we talk about the stability in the exchange rate, and also the foreign reserves. And we also look at the reforms actually also strengthened and improved in the institutional reform. And we also talk at the supply side structural reform, like to talk about the steel, coal, and we also made a achievement, achieve our goals 2 years ahead of our 13th five-year plan, and also that also help to drive other industries to improve their structure, increase their efficiency. Another progress where we have seen is the improved business environment. So we talk about this to give the credit to the slashing taxes and fees as well as we delegate more powers, improving regulation and providing better service. We look at the ranking made by the World Bank. And for Beijing and Shanghai, that's also leading the list. So we up 32 places. So all these numbers showcase like we actually create more enabling and attractive environment for business, and believe the number will be even better this year. Of course, we are facing a big change that unseen in the past 100 years. So China is really deeply integrated into the global economy. Of course, the global economic fluctuation will impact China's industries, especially the manufacturing industry. So during our course of the upgrading, we also face a very long-seated and acute problems and challenges. A lot of our enterprises are also facing it's really tough, especially the very costly financing and really hard to get access to finance, and also a very high operational cost. All in all, this reflects that we're facing challenges and some concerns. In the recent period, the State Council and the Party Central Committee made some documents in order to resolve all these difficulties. I believe through all this practice, we enjoy very resilient fundamentals. We have a lot of different ways and tools at our disposal. I believe by act on all these policies and documents, and on top of that, Premier Li Keqiang also mentioned that we have 10 priority tasks need to be done this year. All our efforts will produce a stable, sound, sustainable, and healthy development for our economies. At last year's CIE, President Xi Jinping saying that China's economy is just like a vast ocean. After all the storms, we will still moving forward. I believe our economy will meet our target goals this year. Thank you.
继续提问。中区第5排那位男士。
谢谢主持人。人民日报海外版记者。年初，令吉卓副主任在接受采访时称，正在抓紧推进新一批的外资项目。我的问题是，就是在今年的基础上，能否介绍更多的新情况、新进展？另外就是。 今年还将采取哪些吸引外资的措施？谢谢。
I'm with China Daily Global Edition. In an interview in early January, Vice Chairman Ning mentioned ongoing efforts to implement a number of new major foreign investment projects. Is there any update on that, and any new measures this year to attract foreign investment? Thank you.
Thank you for asking a very important question. We talk about the foreign enterprises, foreign investment. They are a very critical part of China's economy. In 2018, we look at the sluggish of cross-country investment and also a complex and fast-changing global environment. We actually reached a new high in foreign investment. The direct FDI reached 135 billion, increased by 3%. At the same time, the newly established foreign invested enterprises increased 70%. And Premier Li Keqiang also mentioned this yesterday in the government work report. I believe we're still a fertile ground for foreign investment. Going forward in 2019, we'll still stick to the philosophy of opening up with a commitment to high-quality open economy. And we will fully implement a negative list plus preferential treatment. And also we will give them the equal footing to the foreign enterprises in order to create a more favorable conditions. So before accessing to China, we give them a negative list plus pre-establishment national treatment. And after they access into the Chinese market, we also give another preferential treatment. Talk about the service sectors and also other sectors. We also encourage them to receive the foreign wholly owned enterprises. So we are working on the negative list. Last year, we enlarged the scope of negative list, and this year we will further enlarge our list. And we'll continue our demo projects in the free trade zones. And second, we will give them more positive encouragement. This year, we will have the catalog in this regard. We will have identified the scope of foreign investment. And during our upgrading and development, we will let the foreign investment play a major role, and they will enjoy the free tariff on imported equipment. And for the Western regions, they will also receive a 15% tax reduction. And third, we will give them the national treatment before and after access to Chinese market. Besides the negative list, we will also look at the specific restrictions on the foreign investment, make sure all the requirements are aligned and consistent. We will further put forward in terms of standardization, procurement, technology and science standards, listed in the market, financing, all these areas we will give the foreign investment the equal footing to participate in the Chinese market activities. Number four, we will further facilitate the foreign investment, which means we will provide better service to foreign investment projects. We will streamline the registration or filing procedures, and we will also conduct the service to major foreign investment projects. So we talk about Shanghai Tesla, Xi'an BMW, Guizhou, and the chips from Samsung. We have 2 rounds of major foreign investment projects going on. Of course, we'll have the third round of projects on our pipeline, so we will further look at the projects to give them the environment evaluation projects, let them to play a leading role, and also let the localities to improve their services and provide better regulations. And number 5, we will protect their legitimate interests and rights according to the law. The foreign investment law, that's a draft version, have a clear definition that China should protect the foreign investors and the foreign invested enterprises, their IPs. We should not use the government administration to force them to make the technology transfer. By doing so, we will give them a very solid and sound legal protection. After the legislation, we will implement fully.
谢谢，请继续提问。西区第2排那位女士。
谢谢主持人。中央广播电视总台央视记者提问，我的问题是：现在大家都非常的关心，在外需增速走弱、国内消费也下降这样的形势下，中央经济工作会议提出要促进形成强大的国内市场。请问，强大的国内市场有哪些维度？我们应该怎么去理解？另外，今年具体有哪些实招？谢谢。
I'm with China Central Television. As external demand and domestic consumption growth slows, China's Central Economic Work Conference pledged to develop a robust domestic market. How would you define this robust market? What are its dimensions? And will there be any concrete measures? Thank you.
在这个去年中央经济工作会议上呢，习近平总书记提出了要促进形成强大国内市场。在昨天的政府工作报告当中呢，李克强总理有专门一个章节讲到要促进强大国内市场。
on the need to form a robust market. I think this is a very important task. And for China, we have a population with around 1.4 billion. For the market entities, it amounts to around 110 million, and around 30 million are private enterprises, which means that we have a very strong base for the industrial development. And from the perspective of new models, new forms of business, I think it is a market that grows rapidly. According to the statistics from 2015 to 2017, we have achieved an 80% increase growth for the new growth drivers. The value added is actually accounting for 15.7% of the GDP of last year. That is the first point. The second point, for traditional industries in China, especially in the area of manufacturing, it enjoys an enormous market. According to our statistics, for the value output for the industry sectors, it exceeded around 110 trillion RMB. It represents an enormous market. At the same time, with rapid development of the internet and technology, this sector will experience a fast upgrading rate. So we enjoy a vast market with enormous potential. At the same time, we're speeding up the urbanization in China. We have over 600 medium and small-sized cities, and half of them are medium to large-sized cities, and for the others are small cities. The permanent residents in the urban area reaches 59.8%. Every basis point actually represents 14 million people, meaning that the change will be changed from the rural people to the urban residents. So we have to consider all the basic living needs for this population, and also we are doing an upgrade for the shanty towns. And also we have to upgrade and improve the infrastructure for the old residential areas. We have made a lot of investment for the upgrading. All adding up represents an enormous market, and at the same time, we also realize there is a stronger awareness for these people for consumption. For example, going forward, we will step up for the old age care and the infant and the child care, which requires a huge demand. According to our survey, we have over 200 million of private cars and hundreds of thousands, millions of refrigerators. All in all, this represents an enormous market. We have a rapid development in all of these sectors, and also we have a lot of new products launched every day. This will upgrade our market. In order to form a robust domestic market, NDRC has been working with relevant departments to issue 8 policies. Now we are implementing all of these policies. We will try to recycle all of these second-hand vehicles and also the home appliances. We are actually fully implement the top-level design so that we can form a robust domestic market. So we will launch the policy on forming a robust domestic market, and this will be implemented soon. It is necessary for China to deliver a good result to boost the domestic consumption. We will fully implement the spirit from the Central Economic Work Conference, that is to adjusting, strengthening, enhancing, and upgrading our economy, and we would offer more high-quality products and services. I believe with all of these efforts, we will have a more robust domestic market, and it will also solve the primary contradiction in our society and push forward for the high-quality development in our economy.
谢谢，请继续提问。东区第4排那位女士，这位，
感谢主持人，我是深圳卫视记者。那有评论认为，目前中国经济增长乏力，破解困境的根本方法是深化改革开放。那想请问一下，今年经济体制改革的着力点在哪里？那另外，我们也了解到，去年深圳、上海成为国企综合改革示范区。那深圳呢，也是民营经济发展最活跃的城市之一。那国家发改委对鼓励支持民营企业参与国企混改有什么样的考虑？那您希望深圳在这个过程当中发挥怎么样的先行示范作用？谢谢。
谢谢，我们请我们连文良副主任回答。
Thank you. I'm with Shenzhen Satellite TV. Some people say that the Chinese economy is losing steam, and the solution lies in deepening reform and opening up. So what's the focus of economic reform this year? And also, we have seen that last year, Shenzhen and Shanghai became pilot zones for SOE reforms. So what will the NDRC do this year to encourage and support private businesses in taking part in the SOE's mixed ownership reform? And Shenzhen is known as a most dynamic area for private businesses. So is there any specific measures in this regard? And what role can Shenzhen play?
Thank you for your question. Reform is the driving force for development. General Secretary Xi Jinping has pointed out during the Central Economic Work Conference, we have to deepen the reform. We have to energize the market entities and push forward for the reform. Yesterday, for the government work report, Prime Minister Li Keqiang has also clarified all of the tasks for deepening reform. And this year, the Reform Committee has also shouldered over 20 missions. The NDRC will follow the decisions from State Council and CBC Central Committee. And we will be centering around the 4 words spirit, that is to adjust, strengthen, enhance, and upgrade the reform. First one, we have to emphasize the strengthening of the reform. We will deepen the reform in the financing, pricing, and also we will accelerate the eliminating of the outdated production capacity, and also we will improve the reform in SOEs. The purpose is to lower the cost, strengthening weakness, deleveraging, reduce excess inventory. And also we will focus on 5 key initiatives. The first one, we will strengthen the reform in the mixed ownership. And also we will strengthen the reform for private enterprises. We will also strengthen the reform in the capacity protection. And we will also strengthen the reform in encouraging the entrepreneurship. And also we will keep our efforts to improve the business environment. And also we will be launching over 40 pilot mixed ownership reform sites. And also we will deal with some of the property infringement cases. And we will set up a standardization and the guidance to encourage the enterprises to be engaged in the reform. And we will provide a rating for the business environment in multiple regions. And third, we will focus on the enhancement of the reform. There were 3 areas that we have to focus. The first one is about the reform of the factors of production and improve the quality of the industrial chain, and to improve the service sector as to improve the quality of the service. We further ease the environment, and we will extend the reform to county levels. So we will continue our reform for the oil and natural gases sectors so that we can better connect the service provider and also the service participants. We will deepen our reform in opening our market access. Fourth, we will continue our reform in connectivity. We'll focus on our efforts in circulation. We will foster a market that will fully implement the negative listing mechanism. We will remove all the barriers that restrict the access of our talents, and also we will further encourage the employment and economic growth. And also we will better connect the finance and our real economy. You also mentioned that how private enterprises can better engage in the SOE mixed ownership reform. First, we have to provide better access and improve the quality of the reform and enhance more connectivities in all sectors. First, I'm talking about the access. In key areas for the mixed ownership reform, we will encourage the access of the private business. And also we will encourage the competitiveness. We encourage the joint stock ownership. We will expand our scope for setting up the pilot area for the mixed ownership reform. We will encourage innovation, focus on the main business, and improve the efficiency. We will make efforts to encourage all the mixed ownership companies to set up the corporate governance system so that each other could reinforce. Second, we will want to better protect the legitimate interests and rights from the shareholders. In this way, they can better exercise their duties according to the holding equities. And at the same time, we have to make sure that all the social capital can access the markets and withdraw from the market according to regulation. For Shenzhen, is actually leading the reform process in China, and it has also generated many valuable experience for China. And also Shenzhen creates a lot of experience in the mixed ownership reform. There's a lot of potential to develop the private enterprises in Shenzhen. We hope Shenzhen can create more experience to other cities during the mixed ownership reform.
My question is about infrastructure investment. Infrastructure investment is obviously an important part of economic growth, but there's no target for this year in the work report. What is your outlook for growth this year? Also, what role do you see for the private sector in this? And can local governments do much to improve infrastructure investment, considering how much debt they already hold? Thank you.
非常感谢您。我的问题呢是关于基础设施投资的。我们都知道，基础设施是中国经济增长中非常重要的一部分。那么今年呢，对基础设施投资没有做明确的表述。请问基础设施在今年的经济中的作用是什么？另外，民间投资在其中的作用如何发挥？另外，地方政府层面上，他们能够如何进一步的推动基础设施的建设？考虑到他们现在已经承担了不少的债务。谢谢。
Thank you.
谢谢。
Talk about infrastructure construction or infrastructure investment. This part is always a key part of our country's economic development. Last year, our fixed asset investment increased by 5.9%. The growth rate compared to previous years slowed down a little bit. This is also because of the down pressure on global economy, as well as upgrading and transformation of our own businesses. All the factors working together that reflects from this slowdown number. This is quite normal phenomenon. So talk about investment in fixed assets. Foreign investments taking up a smaller proportion in this regard. And the government investment also a quite smaller part. So the central fiscal and the local government investment, they take up less than 5%. All these actually work towards the infrastructure, the public service facilities, and also fill in the weakness links. During the whole process, actually, we also produce a quite large number of high-quality assets, and they enjoy very good liquidity. So, including local government, will work together through PPP and other measures to put them into a good use, let them as a new channel of capitals to attract capitals. So from the capitals to assets, we want to create a very good circulation. And the investment from different levels of government, we work really earnestly to prevent a new debt emerged. So all the capital or investment actually will use them for the new projects. All these projects actually is the precision investment. We will not refrain. We will not resort to a deluge of stimulus policies. All we are doing with the targets. So we work with targeted regulation. We would like to let the private actors, their investment, to play a bigger role. Last year, the investment from private sector increased 8.7%. 2.8% is higher than the overall investment. So they also take up 60%, last year 62% of overall investment in fixed assets. 35% out of this number actually invested in technology or the upgrading of the facilities or the new projects in manufacturing. So the investment in manufacturing actually overstrapped 1/3, or 0.8% in growth rate, reached a 9.5% growth rate. So we talk about private investment should work closely with the public investment. Coming together, there will be a good combination, and we will continue this method coming forward. For private sector, we will lower the threshold for accessment, and we will also help them to solve their issues, like the financing problems, and also the requirements subject to the government services. Make sure they can develop in a very smooth and healthy manner. Make sure the investment in fixed assets, along with economic development, can work in the same direction.
谢谢，请继续提问。西区第3排那位男士。
谢谢主持人。我是经济日报龙媒体的记者。去年以来呢，我国社会消费品零售总额的同比增速呢出现了持续放缓。那么社会上呢，对于这种现象呢，提到了就是消费疲软以及消费降级。我想请问您对此有何评论？另外呢，就是刚才何主任在回答问题的时候谈到了汽车跟家电的这个市场潜力很大。那么我想知道，就是下一步我们在扩大家电和汽车消费方面会有怎样的政策大礼包？谢谢。
这个问题，我想请我们Ning局的副主任给你回答。
Thank you. I'm with Economic Daily. Last year, we have seen a slowing in the growth of total retail sales, and some say that there is a slump in consumption, and also there is a consumption downgrade in China. What's your comment on that? And just now, Chairman He mentioned that there is great potential in the market for automobiles and home appliances. Will there be any specific measures or policies from the NDRC to boost such consumption? Thank you.
好，这个问题很重要。消费呢，在国民经济和社会发展中
play a fundamental role in economic development. You may notice that the growth in total retail sales and the contribution of the retail sales reached 78%. A primary driving force in 6 consecutive years. The question you ask regarding the total retail sales compared to last year than the year before last year, yes, it slowed down, but still we have seen a 9% in growth rate. It's not a slow growth rate. And look at the details or the breakdowns in the retail sales of consumer goods. The retail sales from the service sectors actually not included in this number. I would like to say that look at the whole scale of retail sales. Is comparatively large. We talk about 13.86 trillion US dollars. The consumption from service sector registered at 8 trillion US dollars. We look at actually the composition of consumption is upgrading. It reflects from the consumption from the household, which takes up less than 30%. The number for last year is 28%. So which means we reached a standard of quite high income per capita level. So this reflects a consumption mix upgrading. So we can tell actually the fundamentals are not changed in terms of the enlarging consumption. The upgrading consumption will further drive the industrial upgrading, consumption upgrading, and even to the whole economic upgrading. This is an unstoppable trend. So we're looking forward and very encouraging for this trajectory. Talk about this year. In the Central Economic Work Conference, General Secretary Xi Jinping actually have a very clear requirement on our work. Premier Li Keqiang also mentioned this in the government work report, and we have a set of policies put in place. So we will work in the following 4 areas in order to stimulate a stable growth in total retail sales. Number 1, we will further implement the policies in consumption. This January, NDRC, with other 10 government departments, released a document to further drive the stable growth in consumption in order to build a robust domestic market. So we work at the automobiles, home appliance, grain consumptions, and the consumption on sports and elderly care. We have a set of policies in all these regards. In the government work report, actually, you also can find the corresponding requirements from the policy-wise. We will further put them into our actions. Second, we will increase the capacity of consumption for our household. We will have a set of measures to increase the income, disposable income for our rural residents. We will stabilize our employment and also the growth rate and make sure the economic growth can in line with disposable income increase. So we will further cut taxes and fees to increase income. So anything that around 880 million taxpayers can enjoy this further deduction in the income tax. And we will further strengthen our weakness. A physical investment will go up further. Talk about our talents, the science and technology experts, and also the talented farmers. We will give them further support. And we also have an action plan for these 3 years to increase their income and also the allocation of income. All in all our measures, we would like to see a good disposable income for our people. Third, we will further enlarge the key sectors' consumption, as you mentioned. And we will further enhance the physical goods consumption. We talk about the old vehicles. We will take them off the road. And we will further speed up the 5G commercialization. So this is in regard to the home appliance. We talk about this area in your question. We talk about green consumption on home appliance. This will see a further support from our policy. And look at the service sectors. We will enlarge the tourism, as well as culture, movies, and also the sports and fitness areas. As Chairman He mentioned, we will release a set of policies in terms of elderly care, infant and children service. I would like to give further support in the consumption in elderly care and infant care, as well as housekeeping service. We will further step up the renovation for the old community buildings, and also the housing rental market will be further enhanced. And we will further help to increase the consumption level in rural areas. We will give further support for the e-commerce courier services to go to the rural area. So number 4, we will keep improving our environment in consumption. We will protect our consumers' rights and interests, and also build up the credit systems for the individuals and enterprises. And we also have the whole process that can traceable and can hold people responsible if they sell the counterfeit or the substandard products. And we will also have the whole system to facilitate people to pay the bills, and also we will integrate better the online and offline platform that the people can do their consumption in a very convenient and safe way. Of course, we will not only talk about the demand side. For the supply side, we will also give a strong policies to cope with the market change and also provide high-quality products. Through our supply-side structural reform, we can fulfill people's needs in a multi-layered, fast-changing way.
谢谢，请继续提问。中区第4排，靠中间的那位女士。哎，对，这位。
谢谢主持人，我是齐鲁晚报齐鲁1点记者。刚才宁主任也提到了要促进养老育幼方面的消费，但是在我们采访过程中了解到，在大城市养老院一床难求，城乡尤其是婴幼儿育幼方面的服务还有所短缺。想请问发改委下一步在养老育幼方面有怎样的政策考虑，来解决这一老一小的难题呢？谢谢。
好，谢谢这个问题，我们请我们连文良副主任回答。
I'm with Qilu Evening News. Just now, Vice Chairman Ning mentioned that the NDRC will encourage consumption in terms of care for the elderly and for the young children in China. However, as we have seen in big cities in China, nursing homes are woefully lacking, and so are nursery facilities in both urban and rural areas. So is there any concrete policy or any measures that the NDRC will take to address this problem? Thank you.
You have mentioned the issue related to the elderly and the children. Actually, it is a livelihood issue. I believe each household are facing similar challenges. As Chairman He has talked about our efforts to boost a robust domestic market, he actually covers some of the measures that will be taken. And for the State Council and the CPC Central Committee has attached great importance to developing the nursery homes and nursery service in the rural and the urban areas. General Secretary Xi Jinping has actually mentioned a lot of points in relation to this regard, and in yesterday's government report, Premier Li has also pointed out some concrete actions. In the new era, and the NDRC will work with 18 relevant departments, and we have released a concrete action plan to improve the livelihood. As we have just mentioned about the 8-point decision to boost the domestic market, and this is actually includes some of the actions to improve the elderly care and the infant child care service. We will conduct comprehensive measures to improve the service to elderly and child care. We have to make sure that the quality of the service will be improved and also the quantity of the service will be increased. First of all, I would like to talk about to increase the quality of the nursery service. We will provide more access for the nursery services. In the upcoming 3 to 5 years, we will continue to adding more capacity in the nursing homes, and we're also actually adding over 1 million spots for the nursing homes, and we will also increase the kindergartens and the schools that are opening in the rural areas. We will continue to improve our services for the infant and child care, and also to build up more communities and institutions that will meet this demand. And the second, we will improve the service to the elderly and the children. The happiness of the elderly and the children actually draw public attention, and people attach great importance and concern the quality of the service to this vulnerable group. So this will be a priority for the market supervision. We would like to standardize the service as to improve the quality, and we will provide the training to the professionals so that they can better provide the service to this group. At the same time, we also supervise the credit system, the social credit system. At the same time, we will further optimize the supply and demand analysis for this regard. For the central government, it will encourage a diversified development to serve the elderly care and infant and child care, so that we can better meet the needs from this group. We will provide over 80% of the nursing homes that will be adapted to diversify the elderly care. For the capacity arrangement, we will provide more support to the rural areas and the remote areas to make sure that every spot of those areas could enjoy the service from the central government. And we will encourage the nurturing services entering into the communities. So, for example, we'll add the services in the daycare and the catering services, so that we can build up a network for community elderly care, so that the residents in the communities can enjoy a high-quality care. Thank you.
东区第3排的那位男士，这位男士。
谢谢主持人，风华卫视。 卫视记者提问，我关注的问题是粤港澳大湾区建设的问题。我们早前已经看到了粤港澳大湾区的规划纲要是已经公布了，就想问今年会采取哪一些重大的举措去落实这个纲要，去推进大湾区的建设？另外，香港和澳门在整个过程当中要发挥怎样作用，怎样发挥好自己的作用？谢谢。
Thank you. I'm with Phoenix TV. The outline development plan of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area has been released. What specific implementation actions can we expect this year, and what role will Hong Kong and Macau play in that process? Thank you.
好，谢谢。这个今天2月18号
On February 18th, the State Council has released the outline development plan for the Greater Bay Area. Currently, we are following the requirements and decisions from the outlined, and we're actually initiating a 1+N initiative, and we're focusing on the top-level design. On March the 1st, the Vice Premier, Han Zheng, organized a special committee to discuss the implementation of the outline development plan for the Greater Bay, and he also proposed specific requirements and the instructions for the implementation. Recently, we have continued our efforts to define the jobs. On top of the implementation of the outline development plan, I would like to emphasize 2 points. First of all, we would like to build up world-class scientific and research centers in these areas. In terms of the hardware building, we would like to Shenzhen to cooperate with Hong Kong to allocate a space that dedicated for the building of the science and technological central area. And at the same time, we need the Zhuhai to cooperate with Macau to build out the scientific center. At the same time, we would like to build 2 innovative corridors between Guangzhou, Zhuhai, and Macau. And also, we will be providing support from the Academy of Science to work together with the Hong Kong Special Administrative to further our advance in building a science and technological center. And Guangdong enjoys abundant resources in building the science and technological center. As we have 3 regions included in the Greater Bay Area, we believe that with their concerted efforts, they will provide a greater prospect for the development. And also, we would like to provide more convenience for the access from residents from Hong Kong and Macau to enter into the mainland area. Earlier, we have 8 guidelines, and we are about to initiate 1 additional policy that is in relation to the traffic transportation and also the custom clearance between Hong Kong, Macau, and the mainland area. And especially, we would like to provide more opportunities for younger generations from Hong Kong and Macau to encourage them to start business in the Guangdong province. And also, we will be taking some measures for the arrangement of their individual income tax for people from Hong Kong and Macau. All in all, that is to benefit the people from Hong Kong and Macau and to improve the innovative capacity from the Greater Bay Area. Thank you.
中区第3排那位女士，第3排。
谢谢主持人。中华卫视记者提问：我们很关心“一带一路”国际合作，请问2019年中国在推动“一带一路”国际合作方面还有哪些新的考虑？是否会与阿联酋及其他阿拉伯国家开展更多的合作？谢谢。
这个问题我们请我们宁记者回答。
I'm with China Arab TV. There is a keen interest on the Belt and Road cooperation. What's on China's Belt and Road cooperation agenda this year? Will China seek more cooperation with the UAE and other Arab countries? Thank you.
Actually, you raised two questions. The first one is about Belt and Road, the other one is the cooperation between China and UAE countries. As you may notice, in 2013, General Secretary Xi Jinping has raised the great proposal of Belt and Road Initiative. For the Belt and Road Initiative, we are actually pursuing the shared development through consultation and collaboration. It is a proposal for economic and trade cooperation, and this is a proposal to encourage a building of community of shared future for mankind. Now, 5 years have been passed. We have made solid progress in this regard. I would like to emphasize the connectivity in 5 areas. The first one is the connectivity in policy. So far, China has been signing 171 agreements with 123 countries and 29 international organizations. These include some developed countries and some of the world-leading international companies. We are working together to develop the third market cooperation. And also, we have made some progress in the infrastructure building, for example, the railways between China and Thailand, China and Laos. And actually, last week, I have personally make a survey for the China-Laos railway. And last week, we also sat down with the Ministry of Transport from Laos and Thailand to discuss the connectivity. And also, we have made steady progress in a lot of projects in relation to the ports. For example, the China Guarda ports, and also we have launched over 14,000 railways that traveling to European countries. And we also help specialized meetings for that. In terms of the connectivity in trade, the trade volume between China and the countries along the Belt and Road routes actually reach 6 trillion RMB. And also, we have started our cooperation between China and the UAE countries and established industry parks. For the financing, the loans that has been issued from CDB has reached around $25 million. China has been working with the IMF and also established a talent pool. We are actually working together in the area of the education, humanitarian aid, and also in the area of tourism and the culture. For the building of the BRI, it actually boosts the economic growth for the countries along the Belt and Road, and also it helps them to improve their livelihood. And we are also helping the development of the infrastructure in those host countries. All of these efforts will contribute to the recovery of the global economy. Now you're talking about the BRI for 2019. We are actually shifting our stage of development for the BRI right now. Now we are taking more concrete efforts in pushing forward this initiative. We will strictly follow the principle of the market and international practice and make full use of the enterprises and the government functionalities so that we can pursue a high-quality development of the BRI. I would like to highlight a few points.
And we will further strengthen our consensus of cooperation. We will further enlarge the documents signed with the other countries, and we will also achieve the early fruitful outcomes. And the second half of April, we will have our second BRI on international cooperation. We will review our previous cooperation and also lay the blueprint for our future cooperation. Second, we'll further drive our connectivity. We will strengthen our work in rail, highway, airport, ports. This is for the hard facility, the connectivity. And also, on the other hand, for the policy, standardization, and rules and regulations, we will also connect them all together. So for the maritime, land, and air connectivity, we will also build the data Silk Road. So we not only work on the corridors in the existing route, we will also work on the other economic corridors. So we will step into the other markets' needs, and we will strengthen our cooperation in different areas and also strengthen their economic strength. With Kazakhstan, Russia, China already have the upgrading capacity cooperation list. And we will also work together to step into the third market. On top of bilateral cooperation, China also would like to work with developed countries, as well as other emerging economies and developing countries, to conduct a third market cooperation among the enterprises in the invested countries. Like China and France already started our cooperation in the African countries. China and Singapore also have our third market cooperation. Same for China and Japan also have our projects in Thailand. Fifth, we will further enrich our cooperation contacts and make sure our mechanism, platform, model, and allocation of factor products will be further upgraded, and will give further support to the benchmark products. Make sure the BRI is a route to prosperity, peace, stability, green, connectivity, and cultural civilization. You mentioned about the China and the UAE cooperation under the framework of BRI. Arab countries always are the friend to further drive our BRI initiatives. China work with the UAE and the other 4 Arab countries signed the documents in capacity cooperation. Work with the UAE. President Xi Jinping paid a visit to UAE, and we actually reached a great consensus between 2 heads of states that we will also actually inject a new impetus to our cooperation. Talk about the ports, energy cooperation, and industrial part, and the financial cooperation. We have seen a rapid growth in all these areas. For the ports put in service, and also the first major projects, that's the will for automobile companies, actually joined all these opening ceremonies. Work with Saudi Arabia. So China actually maintained a very good momentum with Saudi Arabia for the comprehensive friendship. At the end of the February, we had our third round of high-level dialogue. So that's Vice Premier Han Zheng with the counterpart. NDRC also signed our second round of capacity cooperation and also signed the MOUs. this is actually also operating automatically. Some products already kicked off, some under design. So we actually have 18 major projects reach $4 trillion US. $40 billion US. Also welcome more enterprises from UAE and other Arab countries coming to China to start their business and do trade. Thank you.
谢谢，请继续提问。西区第四排那位女士。
谢谢主持人，我是中国改革报改革网的记者。我的问题是，1年1度的315即将临近，每年315晚会都会曝光一批假冒伪劣产品和不法黑心商家，但似乎此类失信问题年年严打，却屡禁不止。请问发改委作为信用建设牵头部门，将采取哪些有力举措，从根本上扭转失信问题高发的态势？谢谢。
这个问题我们请我们林维良副主任回答。
Thank you. I'm with China Reform Daily. The March 15th, the Consumer Rights Day, is just around the corner. Each year, a show is broadcast on state television on this day to expose knockoff products and malpractice by companies. Despite tough law enforcement campaigns, such products and behaviors still exist. The NDRC is the lead government agency on social credit system. What's your plan on putting an end to such acts of bad faith? Thank you.
Talk about the show. The Consumer Rights Day, that's actually a vivid way to reflect the phenomena in the market. I believe that's also play a greater role in building the credit system. As you mentioned, the wrongdoing issues. So this is a key part we should be focused on in order to build up the social credit system. The State Council and the Party Central Committee always touch great importance in this regard. And we released a set of policies, rules, and regulations, and the specific projects. Especially last year, we arranged an overhaul projects in 19 sectors. We'll further explore the malpractice to the public, and we correct these wrongdoings. 3.59 million VA people with poor credit, they paid back loans. And we correct the 4.4 trillion cases, and also 10 billion loans paid back, and also the case regarding the wage arrears being corrected, and the number dropped by 40%. For the academic misconduct, the people involved in this regard, they will not have entitled to receive any award or be promoted. For the third-party oversight, for these 19 sectors, the wrongdoing cases dropped by 60% in these 19 areas. I understand the public actually touch great importance in the social credit system building, and more attention actually towards this end. For individuals and enterprises, they have their one only credit code.
全国公共信用信息共享平台和企业信用信息平台已经建立并有效地发挥作用。社会化的信用服务体系和从业人员大幅度的增长。特别让人感到鼓舞的是，过去1年，就是各类信用报告的查询
in credit searching reached 2 billion times. We give green lights to people with good credit, and
就是社会氛围
give right
和
light
制度环境
to the
正在
people
加
with
快
poor
形成。
credit.
同时，我们也惊醒地看到，
And
当前
we
社会信用体系建设的任务依
are
然十
also
分艰巨
noticed，that we still have a formidable
要
job to
从
do.
根本上扭转
We need to fundamentally
失信问
change
题高发的态
the
势，
phenomenon
标
with
本
the
兼治。
dishonest conduct.
下一步的措
So
施
for our next step, we
突
have
出
three focus.
3个着力：
We focus
一是着力加大失
on
信
the
联合惩戒的
punishment
力度。
on the misconduct.
当前失信问题高发
Why
的
the
一个重要
more
原因，
practice always
是失
happens
信成
because
本
the
过低。
cost of wrongdoing is so low.
因此，
So
解
the
决的
most
最有
effective
效办
way
法
we will
就是加大
increase
失
the
信联合
punitive
惩
cost.
戒。这方面
We
已
already
经形
have
成了一
a
套
very
管用的
effective
措施和办
ways
法。
and measures in this regard.
我们
And
将
we will
凝
work
聚
with
社会
the
合力，
society to create
及时
the
对严
synergy
重失信行为亮剑，
to
加大
make
跨
the
地区、
wrongdoing
跨部
public
门的联
and
合
also
惩戒
work with
力度，
different areas,
使
departments,
这些呢相关的市场主体
let the key
不敢
market
失信，
entities
不
who
能失
don't
信，
want to
不愿
pay
失
the
信。
bill in the wrongdoing area
第二呢，
because
就是
it's
要
so
着力
expensive.
拓展守
And
信联
second,
合激励，
we also give the
在加大
award
失信联合惩戒力度的
the
同时，
people with good
今
credit.
年
This
将
year
重
will
点
further
完善
improve
让守信者处处受益
the
的
beneficial
体制机制，
systems and mechanisms for people with good
让守
credit,
信有价，
so they
让守信有用，
be a
让守信
great
勇敢，
and also would like to do more to be
大力
a
度的推
good
动
credit
信用惠民
individual.
变起，广泛推广
And we will give
信
the
一贷、
credit, loan
信一
credit,
租、信一游、
lending
信一
credit,
行、
tourism
信一批
and
这
credit
样的
approval.
创新信
All
用
these actually
服务
quite
产品和
new
服务，
and fresh products in this regard.
让诚信
That credit
成为每一个企业和个人的
can
可
be
变现资产。
a discount
我们在实施
assets for
守信联
individuals
合
and
激励
enterprises.
和失信联合惩戒的过程当中，将把保
We will
护
always
个人
put
信息
the
安全
personal information
作为首要前提，
confidential
使人们在享受信用服务的同时
as
更
our
加
key
放心
priority, so
更
people
加安心。
don't need to worry about their information being linked.
第三，
Third,
要着力构建
we will work
以信用为核心的
our efforts to
新型
build
监
up
管
the
机制，
oversight
加
mechanism.
强公共
So
信
we
用
will
平
build
台
up the platform
和社会化
and
的
also
信用服
be
务体系
a
建设，
socialized
强化
credit
公共
system.
信用评价
so
和
the
社会
whole
监督，
public can put an eye
通过对高失信
on
风
the
险
market
的市场
entities.
主体
So with the market
加
activities
大
with high risk,
抽查的比
we
例
will
和
conduct
频
more
次，
rounds of
真正
oversight
做到
and
让
inspection
违法失信者
for
对
the
违法
people
失
with
信者
wrongdoing.
立见高悬，对诚信守法者
They will
无视不
always
忍。
under our eyes.
通过这一系列措
With
施，
all these sides of
使
measures,
全社
we
会的
would
诚
like to
信水
increase
平
the level of
有一
credit.
个大的提升。
Thank you.
谢谢。
谢谢。由于时间关系，再提最后一个问题。别喊。中区第5排那位女士。
谢谢主持人把最后一个机会给我，是中央广播电视总台央广的记者提问。那现在呢，有很多评论说，民营企业在市场的准入以及资金方面依然是面临着不少的压力和问题。那么想请问，在支持民营经济发展的过程当中，比如说降低成本以及改善营商环境方面，我们还会推出什么样的新的举措？谢谢。
Thank you. I'm with China National Radio. It is widely believed that in China, private businesses often find it difficult to gain market access and secure financing. Will there be any new measure to lower costs and improve the business environment for private companies? Thank you.
谢谢。民营经济呢，在我国经济构成当中呢，占有非常重要的地位，正在发挥非常重要的作用。民间有一种说法，尽管不太准确，但是也是一种客观的一种反应，那就5、6、7、8、9， 就是50%，民营经济贡献了中国经济50%的税收，贡献了60%左右的 GDP， 贡献了70%左右的技术成果。
the commercialization of science and technology, and 80% of job creation, and 90% number of enterprises. So all these numbers reflect the important role of our private sectors. So state councils and the Party Central Committee always touch great importance to development of the private sectors. So General Secretary Xi Jinping last year, from the northeast areas to Guangdong, from the north to various sources, so he inspected the business in all different sizes. And on November 12th, he had a meeting regarding private sectors. He emphasized that we should have two resolution to solve the difficulties and challenges and conflicts right now the private sectors are facing. In the government work report, Premier Li Keqiang actually emphasized on our 10 measures. A lot of them actually would like to further encourage the development of private sectors. We worked for the NDRC for a very long time. We have deep understanding that actually recent a whole set of economic measures, rules, regulations, and measures. All these would like to deal with the policy challenges and problems. Concerned by our private enterprises. In order to further boost development for the private sector, there are a lot to be done. That's all laid out in the government work report. From NDRC, we should work on the following 3 priority tasks. Number 1, we should redouble our efforts in the implementation of tax and rates cuts. In this regard, for the previous years, actually, we help them to save 1 trillion RMB. And in the government work report, the target for this year, the number should over 2 trillion RMB. Look at our history, this is an unprecedented number. We talk about VAT actually dropped from 16% to 13%, 10% to 9%. And even to 6%. So we have a whole bunch of measures to slash taxes and fees. And this will further energize the market entities, especially to mobilize the private sectors.
Second, we will provide more support to the private business, especially the small and the micro business, for their access to the financing. Especially, I would like to emphasize 2 points. First one is an issue in relates to the flow of the factor of production, and we will take some action from the financial institutions.
中长期投资的问题，报告当中已经讲到了，帮助企业解决中长期贷款，这就包括中小微企业在内。第3个呢，我觉得可能还要进一步的营造更好的营商环境，要简化审批，提供优质服务，提供更大的便利，来更好的保护民营经济、民营企业合法的权益，包括自主知识产权，包括它的合法的财产权。 和其他的相关的权益，促进呢这个民营经济呢能够安心的创业，要简化政府其他方面的一些审批环节、审批事项，能够提供更快、更便捷的
and the premium services to the private business.
来使民营经济呢。
So this will ensure a high-quality development of the private economy. So we have every confidence to act on all the tasks that has been put forth from the government work report and promote the development of the private business and the private economy. We would like to concentrate all the efforts and work together with the private business so that we can ensure a high-quality economic growth and fulfill all the tasks in China this year and continue to maintain the momentum to ensure a progress in economic growth. Thank you. That's the end of the press conference.